and welcome to, or welcome back to, How to Change the World. I am Catherine Alonso, and I am so excited that you are here with us today for this Changemaker chat. And this is our very first Changemaker chat episode. It is a new thing that we have introduced with the relaunch and the rebrand of How to Change the World. And these will be short conversations with people who are making change in the world on a day-to-day basis. And in these conversations, we envision that we'll be able to highlight not only members of our team and our clients, but also maybe former podcast guests who we want to do a quick check-in with, or people who are running organizations and we are able to grab them for a quick connect. Today, I have the honor of being joined by Elizabeth Davis, who is the most recent addition to the Javelina team. She is our marketing strategist, and today we are going to jump into what makes her tick, what she cares about in the world that she wants to see, and also we're going to tap into all of her expertise about marketing strategy and how you can maximize effective marketing strategy to change the world. Elizabeth, welcome. I'm so excited to be talking to you today.
Thanks, Catherine. Me too. This should be fun.
It really, really should be. And so you have been with the Javelina team, oh my gosh, how long now? Like
it'll be a year in August.
Okay. Oh, wow. We're coming up on a year already. That's so cool. Well, why don't we start off by telling me about what is the change that you most want to create in the world?
Yeah, that's a great question. The change that I would most like to see in the world is equality. I would like to see inclusivity and community. And those things have always been important to me my entire life. And I feel like this is a time where we really need all of those things. We're seeing, power structures that don't have a lot of equality right now. And we're seeing a sort of turn back against inclusivity. And so that just makes me want to change the world even more and make it better.
Yeah. Well, and how do you see your role at Javelina as intersecting with that?
One of the main reasons that I chose to work with Javelina was I was specifically looking for a role and a company that had values that were aligned with my own. I was looking for a company that had clientele that were changing the world and people that I felt that I could help, and that I felt like through their work, I could help extend that change. And Javelina was perfect for that. I get to create strategies for some of the coolest clients I've ever worked with. And all of them have a very specific mission that they're working on to change the world. So, by extension, I get to be a part of that. And that's so exciting.
Well, and I am so excited to get to do that work with you. And I know our clients really appreciate your insights and love working with you as well. So tell me a little bit about what brought you to this point. What has your career looked like and all of the different marketing roles that you've held up to joining our team?
Yeah, my career has not had a linear trajectory. It's been all over the place, literally and figuratively. When I graduated from college, I am like the quintessential millennial. I graduated high school in the year 2000. I was in college, didn't finish college right away, and because I wanted to see the world, I wanted to know what was out there, and I didn't take the path I thought I was going to take. When I graduated from college, I had a public relations degree, mass communication, and we were in the middle of a recession. We had just gone into a horrible recession in the United States in 2008, and there were no jobs. So I thought, okay, what can I do? I found a group that was doing community service. It also happened to sort of dovetail into this sort of entertainment musical that they were performing. And I'm a theater kid. That was perfect for me. And I thought, you know what, if I can't find a job, then I'm going to go do something where I can help change people and people's minds and do good for other people. So I traveled for about 2 years working and performing with the group Up With People. And we traveled all over the world to do community service, to bring positive messages through song and dance. And it was pretty incredible. It was a time in my life where I had to become very resourceful. They would kind of drop me in the middle of nowhere, never knew where I was going to be the next week. And you just had to figure it out. And so I would say a lot of my career from that point on was figure it out. Whether you have a budget, whether you don't have a budget, whether you're working for a nonprofit or a for-profit company, I could always use my skill sets with communications, public relations, marketing, in all of those jobs. So I've worked in nonprofits, including Adelante, people with disabilities. We helped people with disabilities. I've worked for United Way, and then I moved to Los Angeles after working for an economic developer doing his marketing. I worked for several agencies. So I worked for an advertising agency that worked with what they called at the time male-dominated, kind of a male-dominated industry. It was a lot of video games, UFC, that type of work. I worked on a magazine. I worked for a public relations, entertainment public relations agency in Los Angeles as well, which was very interesting and gave me a lot of knowledge. And then when I came back, I freelanced quite a bit. I was taking care of my grandmother while she had Alzheimer's, which meant I had to work from home. And so I had to figure it out again. And I was able to use my marketing skills to freelance, which was fantastic. Past that, I started working in professional sports. So I have worked for New Mexico United, which is the professional men's soccer team here in New Mexico. I helped start the team, was one of their first 5 employees, and got it off the ground and was able to create this incredible community with the help of our community, with the help of the staff that were working with us. It's really incredible. It's now been 5 years and they're very successful within our community. After that, I worked with Seattle Reign, which is the women's professional soccer team in the Seattle area. People might remember Megan Rapinoe, who'd recently retired, but she was on that team as well. And so I got to spend 2020 working on that, which was very interesting. Sports in the middle of a pandemic. And then after the pandemic, I worked for a company as the VP of marketing. And it was for green funerals, essentially. And so coming up with marketing for that. And so I've worked in all of these different industries, and I've been able to utilize my marketing skills throughout all of them, which has been great.
And it sounds like the through line that you painted for us is really been figuring it out, and not only figuring out each kind of turning point or junction in your career, but also within each job, figuring out what you need to do to be successful. Are there specific lessons that you've taken from your career that you think applies to marketing for people who are specifically trying to create positive change in the world?
I would say the through line for me here is community, is always understand and find your community and utilize your community, engage with your community. If you're not engaging with your community, you're not doing marketing right. Those are your people. And so I would say always engage with your community. I would say if you feel like there's not a story to tell, you're not looking hard enough, because there are always stories to tell and you have to be creative with it. And then I would say be resourceful and ready to change at a moment's notice. And the reason I say that is because marketing and social media and all of these things that we do for a living, they are moving quickly. And if you're not resourceful and ready to jump on the next thing and learn it and figure it out, like AI is the big thing right now. If you're not willing to figure it out, you're going to be behind. And so staying resourceful has been key throughout my career.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm so glad that you said if you're not engaging your community, you're not doing marketing right, because I think marketing is a word that it's kind of considered a dirty word. Sometimes that people really see it as kind of trying to trick people or trying to sell something shady. And in your experience, how do you see marketing, and what do you think might be maybe a different way of thinking about it?
Yeah, and I've definitely been in those roles where you feel, or there's people who feel that it's kind of a dirty word, right? Marketing for me there's a difference. Like if for example, let's take June, it's Pride Month. Marketing can feel really dirty when you see a company who's never, ever engaged with their LGBTQ plus community, but they slap a rainbow on, right? That's not marketing. Marketing is getting to know your community and understanding their needs and then responding in kind. And so if you're a company that has reached out to your LGBTQ community and you understand them and you know why they are your audience and you understand what they need, you're going to have a message that's going to resonate and it's going to feel genuine. And I think that's where a lot of people have a disconnect, is that marketing has to feel genuine. It has to feel real. It has to feel like it came from a place of human emotion, or it becomes stale, it becomes staid, and people don't believe it, and it doesn't work.
Yeah. Ever had a book or movie ruined for you because of a bad ending? Yeah, us too. Around here, we believe that storytelling can change the world. And what makes or breaks a story? The ending. That's right. In order for people to care about what you are doing, they need to understand why it matters, what kind of world you're creating in the end. We call this your why. And at Javelina, we're experts in helping our clients not only find their why, but build an entire brand and marketing strategy around it. Visit javelina.co to sign up for a free consultation for our branding and messaging services. And let's bring your why to life. And so what do you think are the most important, or what does effective marketing strategy look like for an organization trying to create change in the world?
Sure. I think a lot of people want to jump into strategies and go straight to tactics, right? They want to start the newsletter, they want to start their social media, and those are great things to execute. But if you don't have a plan for those things, you're just sort of tossing these things out and they're not going to land. And so really thinking about your mission and your vision is key. A lot of people write their mission and their vision and then never look at them again, right? They slap them on a website and they never ever think about it again. And it is so important, and we talk about this all the time at Javelina, to understand your why. Why are you doing this? Why are you marketing to these folks? Who are you serving? And that's so important. And I think, starting from that place will help you understand your goals and what you're trying to achieve. And if you don't start from a place of understanding your goals, then again, your marketing isn't going to have the effect that you want it to have. So I would always say start from the basics. Don't go straight into strategies. The creative ideas will come, but those creative ideas need to have a foundation first.
Absolutely. I love that so much. And I think that it comes up all the time, like very often when we're talking to potential clients, they'll come with a specific tactic that they want to execute. And one of the things that we often do with our clients is we say, maybe that's the right tactic. But before we get to that, we actually need a bit more information. And that information is often exactly what you said, which is why. Why are you doing this work? Why does it matter? What are your goals? How is success defined? And then, of course, the other really important one is, who are you trying to reach? Who are your priority audiences? Who is it that you want your story to resonate with? And so tell me a little bit about how you understand target audiences, and what are some of the things that you do to help our clients understand their audiences?
It's interesting. I think a lot of the times that clients will come in and they think they have an idea of who the audiences are, right? They're like, we've got this down. We know who they are. And then they realize that they're leaving people out, or they may not realize exactly who their audiences are. Their audiences might be squished together and they need to be separated, or vice versa, right? And, for me, it's always thinking about, who is this going to touch first? Who are the people who are going to evangelize your message? Who are the people who are your hardest core audience? And then kind of spread out from there. You have to think about things. Sometimes people will forget, like, one of your audiences might be your internal staff, right? If you need to get everybody on board for a marketing strategy, you need to get your internal staff on board too. And so there's audiences that you don't think of right away. And so it's nice to bounce ideas off of people and try to get an idea. It's also nice to bring in a fresh pair of eyes, someone who doesn't know your business as well as you do, because you can get so consumed in your own mission, your own vision, and what you do as a company, and it can be blinding sometimes. And so having a pair of fresh eyes is really important in understanding how your brand is being received by other people.
So if there is somebody listening that, and I'm guessing that there is, that wants to improve their organizational marketing, they know that there's some weaknesses there and there's some areas for making things better. areas for potential, maybe you say, but they just do not know where to start. And I think that really describes a lot of our clients. What advice would you give them?
My advice would be, don't be scared. A marketing strategy can feel really terrifying if you've never written one, but really the purpose behind it is just to create a plan. If you're not the strategic person in your company, that's okay. There are other people around you who might have strategic ideas. And so I think leaning on the people around you is always important. Getting multiple perspectives is always important. Talk to the person who's on the ground. They may not be the VP of the company. It may not be the CEO. It could be your outreach team. It could be a field manager, someone who interacts with your audiences on a day-to-day basis. Get those opinions just as much as you're going to get the opinion of the CEO so that you can get multiple perspectives and start from that place. That's where those ideas will stem from. That's when you'll really start to understand your target audiences and your goals, and stick to it is what I would say. Is really put your plan together. Try not to pivot too many times if you don't have to. Try to get through your first marketing strategy as it's written if you can. If other opportunities come at you, sure, great. Take them if you have the capacity for them. But focus on the strategy and try to get through it and see what those results are before you make any major decisions changing it.
Yeah. I love that so much. I know one of the things that our clients and just our wider community really struggles with is metrics when it comes to marketing. What a lot of organizations want to and need to see is return on investment. And what I hear a lot is it's difficult to be able to tell with social media or with a PR campaign or even with your website if that is translating for you and if that's creating a worthwhile return on investment for everything you're putting in. What is some advice you might give on that front?
Yeah, and that's sort of an eternal question with PR, right? Is like, how do you track it? Because you might see an article, great, you got a hit. And the press put that out there for you, but you don't know how many people are reading it. You don't know how many hits. Sometimes they'll give you that information. Sometimes they won't. I would say take in some of the anecdotal evidence as well. Like, metrics are great. Google Analytics, your social media metrics, you can really get some understanding there. But also consider anecdotal evidence. If somebody comes to you and says, hey, I heard this cool thing about you guys, that's evidence that your marketing is working. That this person not only got your message, but then came back to you to tell you, right? Like, listen for chatter, do some searches, go on Twitter, see if anybody's talking about your company. Like, there are some things that you can do to get creative. And I would just say, don't rely too much simply on data, because like I said, a marketing strategy, part of it is data, yes, but marketing is so cemented in human emotion that you need to take human emotion into account, sentiment. Take into account how people are talking about you, not just that they are, but how are they talking about you? That's important.
I like that perspective a lot because there is a lot of focus on metrics, KPIs, data. What are we tracking? Particularly right now, and this becomes more true with every passing day, where there's so many tools, there's so much software out there, things are so trackable, so measurable, that I love your message, which is, what we're really trying to do here is reach people and change hearts and minds. And so there's real value in the human emotion of it, and you don't want to lose that. I really love that a lot.
Absolutely.
Anything else, Elizabeth, any nuggets of wisdom you want to share with our listeners before we let you go?
I would just say, if you're somebody who's looking to get into marketing or public relations, changing a career path to get into this, it's a great field. And I would say, regardless of what industry that you're in, you can apply these skills in so many industries, and I'm evidence of that. It'll always work for you. You can always find something that you can do with your marketing skills. And I would say go for it. And also, don't chase titles. Don't chase specific salaries. Chase a job that's going to make you feel fulfilled at the end of the day, because there is no salary that is going to make you feel better than changing somebody's life for the better.
I love that so much. And I should say that Elizabeth is also the producer of our podcast. So, Elizabeth, thank you so much for stepping on the other side of the camera today and filming this with me and having this conversation. I love working with you. I know our clients do too. And I really appreciate you sharing some of your expertise and your insights with us today.
Thank you so much, Catherine. I absolutely appreciate working for Javelina, and it's just been such a pleasure.
For all of you listening, thank you, or watching, thank you for joining us. If you are listening, remember that our podcast is now available on video, so you can catch us on YouTube. And if you are watching us, you can also download us on any podcast platform. My only ask for you is that you would like, share, leave us a review wherever you are consuming this podcast. It really helps us grow and reach new people. And until next time, when I cannot wait to share another story of change with you, have a great one.